Hey guys, this is Zeke the Defender, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the June 17th update for Access Game Factory. These are the updates that we've included, and I'm going to go through them one by one. So the first one is that we've increased the maximum terrain size to 16,000 meters. To change that, go to Modify here under your terrain window, and you'll have this slider here. It used to only be 4,000 meters, but now you can either go to 250, 500, 750, 1,000, and then a multiple of 1,000 after that. Just be aware that once you start getting pretty high in your terrain size, it might start taking quite a long time to load your scene. Next is that we've added more options for the terrain generator. Terrain generator is a premium only, but you'll now be able to generate paint or terrain textures and vegetation straight on your whatever you generate. That goes along with this here. We've added slope and height constraints for terrain editing, and those are here: minimum, maximum slopes, and minimum, maximum elevation. Each of these has their own specific ones. You can see it changes. So say if I only want the green here to be in the negative 155 to 184 range, it won't paint here because this is 0, but if I raise that up so that it's negative 155 to 200, it will paint. And then the slope is just, the angle up of hills and stuff like that. So if this is only 5 and we've got a hill there. These little dots here that you can see are where it is only 5 degrees of incline. So let me show you a bit of how how it works with the terrain generator. I like to do, oops. Okay, well, this is a good example of one of these. You can save and load terrain presets, which is just this single terrain. So, say I save that, I'll just name it green for now. I can go here and load it. Oops. Well, it also changes the color there, but it will save these numbers. I'll change that back to gray. Otherwise, let's go to 0, 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60. Alright. You can see that the blue is up above the 20 and below the 40 range, whereas the green is probably, the 0 to 20 range, and the gray is at 0 to negative 20. You can overlap those and it'll just merge the textures together. You can do smooth iterations, which will make it take a little longer to load or to generate. But you can see it's a lot smoother there. Alright. Now we've changed the vegetation. So when you add a new vegetation layer, it'll be specific to whatever terrain you are. So this one has this vegetation, and this one will have a different one, and I can do even a different one for that one there. So you can see that I've generated it, and I got my gray texture and vegetation, and then the green texture and vegetation. You can link it to your paint so that as you're painting, so say since this is blue up here and not green, it's going to start removing the vegetation. But since I'm painting on green here, it's going to add it. Added the ability to generate smaller sections of the voxel terrain. One person was saying that their AGF was crashing because they might have had a very large terrain, and generating this entire terrain with voxels might be quite a bit much for your computer. So we added this. There's the center X and Z, and then how far of a range it's going to generate. So let me I'm going to go to, we'll say, 20 and 20, and then generate a 10 square. So you can see it went out to 20, and that's the center there. And then it's a 10 by 10 square wherever you generate. So if you only want to generate certain parts, that can be helpful. And if you have all the way up to 500, that'll be 10 times as long time to generate, even longer maybe. Added the ability to use assets as terrain vegetation. Oops. Oh well. So add mesh layer. That'll mean you can actually use assets. Only some of these assets actually work. If they're too complicated or have more than one mesh in them, they may not work. So don't be discouraged if it's not working. Just try something else. You might be able to even make your own if you've got the asset packager. So even these character for scales here, those are a little too complicated. So it's got to be something simple like these boxes here. It's kind of like the geometry brush, only they're waving around like grass. You can modify how they work with global vegetation settings. So the speed at which they wave in the grass, or wave in the air. the size of the waves. Right now you can see they're all waving as one, or they're waving all ripply. And then how much they bend. These three are new. The rest of them have been there already for grass. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and use it. What was the last thing? Okay, the last thing was with the object list. We've added grouped objects. So I'm going to place a character. You can see that it is in the ungrouped objects and in the all objects. Okay, so I can take them and I'll choose these two. You can right click now, add to group, but I have no groups available. So I'm going to do a new group from selected, and that'll automatically add them to this group. You can see they disappeared from the ungrouped objects up here. So, what can I do with that? I can focus on them individually like I could up here. I can remove them from the group. Be aware that's not going to delete them, so you're going to have to, you know, say, add it back into the group. So you're just going to have to delete it manually yourself. But this can be good with, say, I want we'll add these to a different group. Say you want to toggle everything visible or invisible at once. So, say you got a house. So you make a house, and here's something kind of simple here. And, but you want to see inside whatever you're making, you know. I can put everything in a group and then just hide it for a few moments and, you know, edit stuff on the inside and then turn it back on. This minus sign is delete group. So yeah, I hope that will be useful for you. I'm hoping to add more of these right-click options to different windows. And yeah, enjoy.